Good evening. I'd like to call the February 7th, 2022 meeting of the Greenville City Council to order. I'm Mayor P.J. Connolly, and I'll be presiding over tonight's meeting. First, I would like to call on Councilmember Litchfield for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Connolly.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Glover has informed us she will not be joining us tonight. Councilmember Daniels.
Present.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Litchfield.
Present.
Councilmember Meyerhofer.
I'm here.
All right, Mayor Connolly, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to the approval of tonight's agenda. Madam Manager, any recommended changes?
Yes, Mayor, I would request that the council add a closed session for economic development purposes to the agenda.
All right.
I would like that we remove it
All right.
from the agenda. Number 8, if we could remove that item. I've spoken with Mayor Pro Tem Glover. She'd like to be here present for that presentation, and also I know that as a council we'd like to have further discussion on our ARPA funds, and so I'd like to have that removed.
All right.
Move to approve the agenda as revised.
Second. All right, motion's been made by Councilmember Smiley, second by Councilmember Bell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to special recognitions before the public comment period.
That's a change, but that's the way it's in the agenda today.
Let's go with it then.
Let's do it.
All right. Madam Manager, our first special recognition.
Our first special recognition is from Sports Destination Management, has named Greenville, NC, as the 2021 Small Market Champion of Economic Impact for hosting the 2021 Little League Softball World Series. I'll call forward Andrew Schmidt, Gray Workman, for that presentation, and also I'd like the mayor to join us, as well as Don Octagon. Do you have the mic? Oh, thank you. We can all spread out here, and I'll give you the microphone.
Appreciate it.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm Andrew Schmidt. I'm the president and CEO of Visit Greenville NC, and I've got Gray Williams, who is our director of our sports commission. And it's our pleasure to share some great news with you. As everybody realizes, we were the host for the Little League Softball World Series in August of 2021. So I'm going to read this award, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So Greenville, this Champions of Economic Impact is presented by Sports Destination Management to the City of Greenville for hosting the 2021 Little League Softball World Series. So just a little bit about this award. So it's about economic impact. And, of course, that was a great thing that happened in August. We had about $1 million of economic impact that came here. But there's some other things that happen as well. And one of it is they want us to know about the impact of legacy. And so what was the legacy of hosting this tournament in Greenville in 2021? And since we've hosted in 2021, we've had so many different sports tournament organizers reach out to us that have never reached out to us before. So it's really helped our sports tourism program move forward. And the second impact that they look at when they think about presenting this award is actually exposure. What was the exposure that your city received from hosting your tournament? And I can know everybody agrees with this. Hosting the Little League Softball World Series, having it on ESPN for the finals, ESPN2 for the semifinals, on ESPN Plus, has done wonders, again, for our city. And also, our Convention and Visitors Bureau and Sports Commission did a commercial, 30-second commercial, that aired on ESPN 123 times in the South Carolina market, North Carolina market, Virginia market, and even the District of Columbia. So our city was introduced to the world, so that's a great thing. So that also played into the award. So it is our pleasure to recognize the City of Greenville as the host, and all the departments did so much to do this. We really appreciate all the departments chipping in. Greenville Little League, some other partners throughout the city, but this is for our city of Greenville hosting the award. So thank you so much for being great partners to the Sports Commission.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, and we have an additional recognition. Don, don't go too far. It's always my privilege to recognize the good work of city employees. I do, before I get started, I want to take a moment and to recognize our new fire rescue chief, Chief Carson Sanders. Chief Sanders, if you'll stand up and say hello. Great. And then I would like to call forward Chastity McCurdy. Great. Well, hey, Chastity.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Okay. It's really a privilege to recognize Chastity McCurdy. Chastity McCurdy serves as the Assistant Recreation and Park Superintendent and was recently recognized by the National Recreation and Parks Association as one of the top 30 young professionals in the recreation parks field for 2022. National. Let me just say national recognition. The recognition program is a joint effort between the NRPA's Young Professional Network and the Parks and Recreation magazine as part of the 30 Under 30 segment. The program recognizes 30 of the top young professionals who work and make contributions have made a lasting impact in their communities. More than 100 nominations were received, forming a diverse group of nominees from over 27 different states. And the scoring committee evaluated the nominations on one or more of the following criteria: the impact on the agency's community and service population, contribution to the professional development of the field of parks and recreation, innovative ideas, programs, and research in the field of parks and recreation. Chastity McCurdy is one of our very own, and she is such a great asset to the city of Greenville and to our Recreation and Parks Department. She continues to do a great job of working with various community groups and implement impactful programs and events for all of our residents, and we're very proud of her accomplishments, and we look forward to seeing what she can do in the future. Congratulations, and please join me in congratulating Chastity. You're welcome. Now, you can't. Do you want to say anything? No, we're good. Okay, they're both ready to get off the stage. Congratulations.
All right, we'll now move on to the public comment period. The public comment period is a period reserved for comments by the public. Items that were or scheduled to be the subject of a public hearing conducted at the same meeting or another meeting during the same week shall not be discussed. A total of 30 minutes is allocated, with each individual being allowed no more than 3 minutes. Individuals who register with the city clerk will speak in the order registered until the allotted 30 minutes expires. If time remains after persons who have registered have spoken, individuals who did not register will have an opportunity to speak until the allotted 30 minutes expires. Madam Clerk, our first speaker.
Okay. Our first speaker is Andrew Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Andrew Schmidt. I'm President and CEO of Visit Greenville and C. And I just want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the City of Greenville for their efforts in establishing the Emerald Express pilot program. For those who may not be aware, there's now free transportation throughout the Uptown District via the Emerald Express Uptown Circulator. The trolley, which makes 13 stops throughout the city center from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Thursday through Saturday, is a place-making tourism asset for our city. The 20-minute continuous trolley loop begins and ends at the G.K. Butterfield Transportation Center. It is designed to provide residents and visitors with convenient complimentary transportation to places like restaurants, breweries, retail shops, museums, art galleries, the town common, and other uptown places. As the director of our tourism efforts in Greenville-Pitt County, I know that Emerald Express is an excellent addition that will help Greenville become a more competitive leisure, meetings, and sports destination. Visitors will now have the opportunity to see and experience all the diverse and wonderful things that our city center offers in a unique and fun way, and discover places they may otherwise miss by just driving or walking. As a resident of Greenville, I've ridden the trolley as recently as this weekend, and have enjoyed the convenience it offers in navigating the Uptown District. Our staff are also excited to see the trolley and hear its bell as it stops by our visitor center and has taken the trolley to lunch on Dixon Avenue and to work meetings. We've also heard from many families who ride the trolley, and their kids love it as well. So really, for our residents that have not ridden the Emerald Express, I encourage you to do so soon. In the coming months, visit Greenville NC along with our partners at Uptown Greenville and Pitt County Arts Council to Merge. We'll be offering several weekday and weekend promotions for trolley riders to enhance their experience. So I want to again thank our city leaders, especially our transit staff. They're doing a great job for committing to a unique and fun transportation experience for all to enjoy in our Uptown District. It's our hope that the Emerald Express becomes a permanent program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Madam Clerk, our next speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Calvin Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you have 3 minutes to address the mayor and council.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am here. My name is Calvin Johnson. As you know, I'm the owner and operator of East Carolina Italian Ice here in town. I'm here in reference to the December 6th, the council meeting that was mending the rules and regulations of the bars and clubs. We're not a bar, we're not a club, but we are a restaurant that in need of ABC license, liquor license. We're a family-oriented place here in Greenville. We'll be opening a place right here in Reed Circle coming soon, and we're in need of our liquor license. And we hope that the city of Greenville will lift the 500 feet deal rule that you have to provide better opportunities for more uptown business and such as mine, for us to move forward with more opportunities in our business, creating jobs for more adult-friendly atmosphere. Like I said, we're not a club, we're not a bar, but we would like it, you know, to give you a little example, to infuse our drinks, our product for adults only. And our aim is to provide a great atmosphere for the community, and I'll make sure I'm not missing anything, such as daiquiris, and if you're familiar with something as Fat Tuesdays or Wet Willies, something down that line. But we have a kiddie side, we have a mid-range side of business, and we also have an adult side of business as well. So we're in need, real need, for this rule to be lifted, to provide our service, to better our service, and to create a more atmosphere for all types of ages of people, family-oriented, and to do better to grow our business. So that would be all.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. We did have a discussion during our workshop that we had earlier today about the 500-foot rule, and I believe staff is working on a few changes, and they're going to bring it back to us in March. But it was very positive, and I think that would probably be in the area that you're looking to operate. Okay. Correct, Madam Manager?
I do not know the address for Mr. Johnson.
He said Reed Circle.
It would
Reed
be
Circle 250, Reed Circle, Suite 109.
Perfect. We'll check and see.
You would probably be in that area and be happy with what we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Thank you.
My wife was pregnant all last year, and she made me come get ice from your place like 20 different times.
Oh, wow.
It was like what she was craving, so appreciate you being there.
Wow. Thank you.
New more.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, our next speaker.
Okay. Next speaker is Ms. Carol Shepard. Ms. Shepard, you have 3 minutes to address the mayor and council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How does it realize?
Good. How are you?
I, again, speaking on behalf of East Carolina Italian Ice, I just wanted to hope your support to lift the 500 foot, which you guys said sounds very promising. This is going to be a great business here in Greenville. We now have a storefront right here on Reed Circle. Grew up in East North Carolina all my life, graduated ECU a long time ago, we won't say the year. But I feel that this is something that Greenville needs. I think it's not a club atmosphere, but it's going to be somewhere that you can go and kind of decompress, especially, and have a great East Carolina Italian Iced daiquiri. Something else that we can do for the community and just give back. Calvin is a great businessman, and it's one of these things when he introduced it to me, I was like, wow, this is a great idea. And I really think that when we picked our location, we didn't realize there were all these ordinances and stuff, so we kind of put the cart before the horse. But after reading the ordinances and reading December 6th meeting agenda and looking at some of the topics you guys have proposed, I'm hoping that it'll be in our favor and that we will be able to proceed as we would like to. But I thank you guys so much for hearing us tonight and giving us the time to speak and listening to what we have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. We appreciate it.
Mr. Johnson, you're still going to have the truck, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, our next speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Don Cavallini. Mr. Cavallini, you have 3 minutes to address the mayor and council.
So good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Don Cavallini, and I've been asked to speak for a group of residents north of the river, some of whom are present. A few are from Brookhaven subdivision, others are from Greenfield Terrace. I'm joined by the former mayor, Ed Carter, and I'm sure he'll want to speak after I do. On February 1st, over 30 residents met at an event center north of the river to talk about where to go after this city council inadvisedly agreed to change the zoning so that data processing, I want to read it correctly now, modular data processing will be allowed in industrial zoning. I'm coming to speak as people gathered on February 1st to say to this city council, you made the wrong decision, but it's not too late. You can pause that decision and reconsider, because there's a lot more information we don't think you have considered carefully enough. And in addition, when we came on the Monday of the week that you made your decision, the meeting prior to the decision-making meeting, and we had speakers that wanted to speak. For the very first time in all the 36 years that I have lived in Greenville and come to these city council meetings, you enforced a rule that no comments relating to a public hearing to be held within that week could be made on the previous meeting and public comment time. That's unheard of. And it's irregular, and it's unnecessary, and it shows a lack of care and a lack of concern for the residents north of the river. We want a pause on data mining, and we don't want noise pollution north of the river. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cavallini. And as the mayor for a little over 4 years, we've always enforced that rule. Madam Clerk, our next speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Edward Carter. Mr. Carter, you have 3 minutes to address the mayor and council.
Yes, sir. Just walk up.
The mayor, members of the city council, I was asked to speak on behalf of the group that's concerned about the crypto mining project here that you're undertaking. I did considerable research, as much as I could do today, on crypto mining. I have yet to find any location that this has been a success in terms of income and certainly in terms of the quality of life of the people that were facing this issue. I am very concerned about the quality of life factors. I'm very concerned that you give them authority to operate in an area not knowing exactly the ramifications and the impact that it has on the citizens. I've lived for 45 years in West Greenville. I live in the Greenfield Terrace subdivision. I'm plagued with no drainage. The drainage is totally inadequate there. I've been to the city manager. I've talked with the mayor. I've sent letters to the mayor and have yet to resolve that problem. The ditch that was dug out in the Greenfield Terrace community is significantly lower than the ditch on the east side of Highway 11. So since water doesn't flow uphill, we have an issue. There are low confined planes that I had to call the commanding general of a base to stop coming over the Greenfield Terrace neighborhood because we have a number of people dying from cancer, cardiac conditions, and I had to stop them from coming in through the commanding general of New River Air Station, that they had these military jets coming in with bombs and missiles flying at low altitudes, and the jet fuel was interacting with the shingles in our houses. There's roofs out there that are rotten. I mean, that the shingles have to be replaced, and you'll find quite a few have metal roofs. So you imagine if jet fuel would do that to shingles, what it would do to your internal organs. We have an inordinate number of people dying. My wife has cancer, and there are a number of people dying from this. We have not gotten any answers to that situation. And they started back. I had stopped them. They started back about 4 months ago, and I had to go again through this process of stopping them. West Greenville, needless to say, has unfortunately become the dumping grounds for the city of Greenville. And I'm really, really concerned. And I know you're very capable people, how you would let operation come in here that's totally unsafe. I read the reviews of the operations in many cities. I have as yet to find one that don't complain about the adverse effect of this industry here. We all make mistakes, but we all have an opportunity to get it right.
That's time.
And I ask you to please review your decision and look for one time, watch and see what you can do for improving the quality of life and safety of our residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you. And Ms. Wall, I think, did staff went out, did they meet out there at Greenfield Terrace to look at the drainage?
Yes, sir. We have met and talked about the drainage with the residents of the Greenville Terrace community.
Okay. Have we discussed anything with or directed them to have discussions with Mr. Hopper over at the airport?
We have, Mr. Hopper has also been engaged with the residents of the Greenville Terrace community.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Madam Clerk, our next speaker.
Mayor Connolly, there are no additional registered speakers.
Anyone else that would like to speak may come forward and state your name for the record. You have 3 minutes.
I'll be real brief. I
Okay.
just want to say
No. Can you state your name for the record?
I don't like to do that. Private, no.
Okay. So no name. All right. Anyone else that would like to come before the City Council and speak during the public comment period, please come forward, state your name for the record. You have 3 minutes. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public comment period. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Madam Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The consent agenda includes the following items: approval of minutes from the December 6, 2021 City Council meeting, the January 10, 2022 City Council workshop, and the January 10, 2022 City Council meeting. Item number 4 is an amendment number 2 to an economic development agreement with Grover Gaming, Inc. Item number 5 is a contract with A&B Cleaning Service, Inc. for custodial services for the GK Butterfield Transportation Center. And item 6 are various tax refunds greater than $100.
All right.
Can we I'd like to pull item 4, please.
All right, item number 4. Anyone else?
Move to approve the remaining item.
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Councilmember Smiley, second by Councilmember Bell. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
We'll move on to item number 4. Madam Manager.
Thank you. Item number 4 is an amendment number 2 to the Economic Development Agreement with Grover Gaming, Inc.
Would you please summarize the amendment?
Yes, sir. This change essentially will add a partner company to the requirements and conditions of the job creation grant agreed to by council. That additional partner company is called Vanilla Games. Grover Gaming is in the process of adding jobs in the community, and it actually adds them both under the Grover Gaming Inc. as well as the Vanilla Games, and this simply adds Vanilla Games to the terms of the agreement.
Thank you. Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion been made by Councilmember Smiley, second by Councilmember Bell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes, Mayor, 5-0.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 7.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 7 is the first reading of an ordinance requested by the Police Department to amend Section 12-1-3 of the City Code to establish civil and criminal penalties in compliance with Session Law 2021-138. Chief Holtzman.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. This will be the first reading of an ordinance requested by the Police Department to amend Section 12-1-3 of the City Code to establish both a civil and criminal penalty for in compliance with Session Law 2021-138. So what happened, we presented this first on January the 10th, and this past year Session Law was passed in the General Assembly that reversed the trend. In the past, all of our ordinances you were able to charge them as misdemeanor crimes. The General Session Law that passed this past year switched that and said they're not criminal penalties, they're not misdemeanors unless otherwise stated. So we're identifying our first ordinance to bring to you we feel is important, and that is discharging of firearms in the city limits. And this will be considered that first reading of that ordinance. So that's that slide there. What we're looking to do is to add a section in this section that states that it's Section F. It's making it a Class 3 misdemeanor of $100 or not more than $500, and then also adding updating the civil penalty to our first violation of $250 and the second one of $500 within the same calendar year. In accordance with the general statute, no ordinance specifying a criminal penalty may be enacted in the meeting in which it's first introduced. And we introduced this idea just at a workshop. So this will be considered the first reading for that. And we'll be asking for a preliminary vote this evening in order to move it forward to February 10th for the second and final adoption of this ordinance. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for Chief Holtzman? Councilmember Smiley?
I was going to make a motion.
Okay.
I move we accept the reading of the first reading of the ordinance and continue the item to February 10th for a second hearing.
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Councilmember Smiley, second by Councilmember Bell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
Just procedurally, I want to ask council to vote on the substance of the item to make a motion to approve the ordinance as a preliminary vote tonight, and then do a final vote on Thursday. So the General Assembly, they passed this law, they want you to go slow. So I recommend two formal votes. One tonight is a preliminary vote, and a final, if it passes, a final vote on Thursday.
Move to approve the ordinance for the first time.
Second.
All right, motion been made by Councilmember Smiley, second by Councilmember Bell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
We set. Mr. McGirt?
Yeah.
All right. Move on to item number 9.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 9 is a budget ordinance amendment number 7 to the 2021-22 City of Greenville budget. Ordinance number 21035, the Capital Projects Fund, ordinance number 17024, and the ARPA funds, ordinance number 21053. And I'll call forward Byron Hayes for that presentation. Mr. Hayes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Budget Amendment 7. Budget Amendment 7 includes adjustments to the Transit Fund, Rec and Parks Capital Projects Fund, and the ARPA Fund. Break down the amendments. We're recognizing grant funding received for the rope grant within the Transit Department. That's an increase to the Transit Fund of $20,000. recognizing additional debt revenue received for the Wildwood Park project. That's an increase of the Rec Parks Capital Project Fund, a little over $3.7 million. And we are allocating American Rescue Plan Act funding received from the Department of Treasury for employee premium pay. That is a net neutral impact to the ARPA fund of $305,000. And as a result, this increases the City of Greenville operating funds to $151.4 million. And staff recommends approval of the City of Greenville operating fund ordinance, capital projects fund ordinance, and the ARPA fund ordinance. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Hayes?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. Motion was made by Councilmember Bell, seconded by Councilmember Daniels. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, we'll move on to the review of the February 10th, 2022 meeting of the Greenville City Council. Madam Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. At the February 10th meeting, the City Council will consider appointments to boards and commissions.
Okay. First is the Affordable Housing Loan Committee. Those are assigned to Mayor Pro Tem Glover. So we will check with her at the next meeting. Next is also assigned to Mayor Pro Tem Glover. That's the Human Relations Council. Next is the Police Community Relations Committee. That's an appointment by Councilmember Smiley.
I'll have to continue that for the moment.
Okay. Next is the Recreation and Parks Commission, and that assignment is actually assigned to Councilmember Bell.
I'll continue for the moment.
Okay. And the final board is the Youth Council, which is also assigned to Mayor Pro Tem Glover. And that concludes our appointments.
Thank you. The City Council will hold 2 public hearings. One to consider a resolution to close a portion of Southeast Alley. And item number 5 will be a public hearing to consider an ordinance requiring the demolition and removal of the dwelling located at 1217 Battle Street, which is known as tax parcel 10006. The City Council will also consider other items, which will include an ordinance amending the City Code, Title 9, Chapter 1, Article E, repair, closing, or demolition of abandoned structures, and Title 9, Chapter 1, Article F, Minimum Housing Code, to authorize filing and/or canceling a notice of lis pendens in minimum housing and abandoned structure code enforcement cases. Item number 7 will be the second reading and adoption of an ordinance requested by the Police Department to amend Section 12-1-3 of the City Code to establish civil and criminal penalties in compliance with Session Law 2021-138.
All right. That is the review of our February 10th, 2022 City Council agenda. Madam Manager, your report?
I have no report, Mayor.
All right. We'll move on to comments from the Mayor and the City Council. Councilmember Litchfield. Councilmember Daniels.
Welcome, Chief Sanders. We appreciate you and look forward to working with you. And thank you to the staff for all of your hard work that you do every day. We truly appreciate it. And I want to say Happy Black History Month to everyone and to encourage everyone to visit our Sycamore Gateway Plaza, participate with the Emerge African American Music Series. We have the African American Culture Trail. And we will also have a Community Black History Quiz Bowl with the Iota Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha in the city of Greenville at Harbor Library. Well, it will be virtual, but that will be on the 20th of February. And thank you.
All right. Councilmember Meyerhofer.
I'm all set.
Councilmember Bell.
Comment.
Councilmember Smiley.
I have no comments.
All right, I've got some. Again, congratulations, Chief Sanders. We're excited to have you here on board. Hopefully, it's not too cold for you.
Not yet.
Bring the warm weather up here from Florida. I also like to wish our city manager a belated birthday.
Thank you, Mayor.
She turned 30 again on Saturday.
I think it's 29, Mayor.
29, I'm sorry, 29. I also want to say congratulations to one of my colleagues who became a partner in the law firm recently. I saw his picture in the paper this weekend. So congratulations to Mr. Brian Meyerhofer. with his law firm. Also want to say thank you to all our city staff for all that you guys do. Thank you to our Recreation and Parks Department for putting on Winterfest this last weekend. I know a lot of people were really excited about that, and we're able to go out to our new park out there and be able to experience a fun, I guess, artificial ice skating rink. It's the complications of living in eastern North Carolina where it's not exactly cold that you can actually go out on an ice skating rink, and we're thankful. Me personally, I'm thankful that our little pond, our little lake out there does not freeze. So that's a good thing. And I think that is it. So I would need a motion to go into closed session.
Can we read
I need to read it. Yeah, I need to read it. Mayor and Council, if I can take a personal point of privilege, I wanted to recognize Mr. Donald Phillips, Assistant City Attorney, who turned 50 on today.
Whoa! So we're throwing out real ages for Mr. Phillips.
Be careful.
Happy birthday! And you still are number one for presentations. So.
Could the attorney actually read the closed session?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mayor and Council members, the City Administration requests that Council adopt the following motion holding a closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute, Section 143.318.11, to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body, including agreement on a tentative list of economic development incentives that may be offered by the public body in negotiations. That's the suggested motion.
All right, motion was made by Councilmember Bell, second by Councilmember Daniels. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Motion passes 5-0.
We are in closed session. Hey, winner gets a bonus, so we're getting out of the closed session version.